big week. Oh boy. Oh boy. So the last time we talked, it was before the Edmonton game, and we said, oh, Penguins are going to get killed. Now, we said this before other games like Colorado, and they ended up winning. So usually when we predict things like that, they don't happen. Well, Thursday, the 23rd, Edmonton 7, Pittsburgh 2, and it wasn't even that close. It could have been 17-2 easily. I was at this game, and it started off great. Letang scores on what had to be just a massive gift. It was just a very nice gift of Edmonton that said, congratulations, here you go. We will give you the first goal. Here you go. As you know, as because that's how you Canadians are. You're so polite and nice that when you visit people from the States, you give gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you give it here. Edmonton's gift. You do. I know firsthand. Edmonton. It was 1-0. Basically, the goalie fell down. The whole team fell down. It was comical, and the place was electric. It was almost like a playoff game. Like, oh my goodness, here we go. It's going to be a shootout. We're going to stay with them. We're going to skate with them. It's going to be awesome. It's probably going to be like 10-9 or something. Yay. And then the rest of the game happened, and it was complete and total destruction. It was a complete and total domination. There's no other. The Penguins didn't have a shot by their forwards until like almost the end of the second period.
Yeah, we had 3 shots on goal in the first period.
3 shots on goal, none of them from a forward. It was complete. It was a complete total domination. The crowd, for the first time, I don't think this has ever happened, after probably the 4th or 5th goal, started chanting "Fire, Hextall." It was pretty loud.
Yeah, I saw your video. I
laughed. Crosby got booed. That's how bad it was. They were even booing Crosby, which I don't know has ever happened.
I've done it a few times.
Anyway,
so it has happened.
It was a complete destruction. What do you have to say about this game?
We're not fast enough, and I think what we learned from this game is that we're just not fast enough. We don't have the speed. We do have a few players that can be fast, but I think the age of our players and hinders us from moving fast. I don't even know. Like, they're not even that old. We talk about like they're so old, like they're senior citizens, but I don't get it. I was happy with Dumoulin in this game. He's been working a lot harder, and I think that he doesn't get enough credit for his performance in the last, I'd say, 2 or 3 weeks. He's definitely been doing good, and I made note of that. Jari, I hate to say this, but he is very mentally weak. I know he's dealing with injuries and rushing back. Well, he didn't really rush back, but coming back, you can just see he's not on his game. He's not. And I picked up on that in this game. Like, it was almost as though he was just not in the mood to play. I don't know. I think it could be like not getting hurt again is what's kind of limiting his full, range of motion. But it's really concerning watching him play. He did get pulled in the end of the second, right?
Right at the beginning of the third period, the Smith came in. By that time, it was too late. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad. Like, what I got from the team is, I hate talking because like the next 2 games we won, so it's like, but I don't see much intensity in their play, especially in that game. Mostly the season, actually. It doesn't seem like anyone cares. intelligence has gone out the window, and their energy and passion are completely lackluster. And like I said, with Jari being mentally unfit or I'd say mentally weak, like he got scored on after turning over the puck again. That's concerning, you know. Did you want to know the errors?
Let's talk about it.
So we had a total of 28 errors, that being 13 missed shots and 15 turnovers. It's just too many, in my opinion. The reason turnovers are happening so much is because there's a lack of connection on the lines. Now, we're too top heavy. The top two lines are good, and the bottom two lines aren't so good. I really think that Sullivan could do a better job reworking the lineup. I know he's not going to, because he's a coward, and he wants to stick with this. And I know the last two games we won, the game we'll talk about next, we barely won. And I think the other game was a fluke, but prove me wrong, Pittsburgh, prove me wrong. I still don't feel this team has chemistry. These lines have chemistry, sorry. And you have Gensel out there. He had 4 missed shots and 1 turnover. So he had the most errors, 5 errors in 1 game, no points. That's horrible. Like, what's going on there? Second, you've got Petrie with 1 turnover and 3 missed shots for 4 errors and no points. And then you have Letang, who had 2 turnovers and 1 missed shot, but he did have the opening and closing goals. So his 3 errors are kind of vetoed, right? They're nixed. Just too many errors. It's too sloppy. It's not connected. And I want to see this team build off the last couple of games, of course, but I think it's going to be a lot more work. I don't know. I'm out of it today.
Everything that we have talked about all year came to a forefront in this game. You start by saying we're not fast enough. And that's the thing. They're not fast enough, but they think that they're Edmonton. They think that they're that young, high-flying, fast team. They refuse to change who they are. They're completely delusional. Yeah. They also didn't change a thing. They didn't change lines. They didn't change anything. Just like all year, just like we've been talking about all year. They didn't, because they're delusional, stubborn, or just, I don't know. I don't know.
It's insanity.
Everything. It is insanity. Jari was, I forget what game he came back. It was this was not his first game back, but it was
Jari came back against the second game at Islanders at home. That's when Jari came back. So he came back on the 20th of February.
So this is the second game back. Okay. He was out for 8 games, I believe, which was 3-4 weeks. He was basically out for a month. So you take a guy that hasn't played for a month because of injury, you throw him in, and he basically gave away the Islanders game, or he didn't help. That's for darn sure.
Yeah.
And in this game, he is completely, he just, it wasn't all his fault, but still, he wasn't good.
No, I don't really think he has been terribly good since he's come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk more about the next 2 games. But yeah. Like, I'm concerned about Jari mentally as well as physically. I think that he's got a lot of pressure on himself, and he should be, I hope he's talking to someone about this, because when you lose your confidence, then you've got another situation like Matt Murray. We don't want that again. And I mean, we went through it with Flower too.
I was just gonna say, and with Flower too. Like, same thing.
This team and goalies, man.
And we have seen before with Jari a couple of years ago where mentally he was not there, and he single-handedly gave away a playoff series.
Well, so we're seeing that again.
We're seeing that again. I think that he was either brought back way too soon, or I don't know, maybe they just don't do this anymore. But when you're injured, when you're out for a while, you play a few games in the minor league team to get back in shape, to get as a tune-up. They don't do that. I don't think anybody does that anymore. And I think he could have really used something just to get back in
Can he
game
be
shape.
sent there? I don't. Does he have that in his contract to go back?
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's like a two-way contract. But I would think they would have some kind of like injury thing. I don't know. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But okay, if that's not the case, and they should have let him, practice a little bit more. But he was not in shape. He was not ready to come
You
back.
definitely don't play him off against good, strong teams, because when you're coming back and finding your wheels again, your legs again, sorry, and you face teams that are going to destroy you or beat you, it messes with your head. So, yeah, like I've been saying this all season, Sullivan doesn't run his bench properly, and I'll continue saying it until I see that he does. And this is an experience. This is an example of that.
So everything bad that has happened with this team was magnified in this game. And the last time we talked, I titled that episode Rock Bottom. This was rock bottom. And I'm not talking about rock bottom for this year, but basically almost for the entire Crosby Malkin era. This might be the low point.
I can't speak to prior to 2015, but I do recall in the early months of that season, the season that we won that first of the back-to-back cups, there was some feelings of being at rock bottom then.
They had that Mike Johnson as coach, and
before Sullivan came in.
He sucked, and so that was also very bad. But with this loss, they were out of a playoff spot, and this is the latest that they have been out of a playoff spot.
They were out 2 spots, or 3 actually.
All of them.
They were like 3 below.
Oh, really? They were three. Oh, that's right.
Moved in, and then Buffalo moved in. Like, we're
10th place. Yeah. This has never happened. This hasn't happened this late since Crosby's rookie year, which was like kind of, I don't want to say a joke, but that was like his rookie year. It was Mario's last year. That was a really bad team. Anyway, rock bottom. After the game, to the players and Sullivan's credit, they actually answered questions, and I don't want to say they weren't. Crosby was clearly agitated.
I actually watched that interview because I like to see like how they deal with like losses. But he was snarky. Yeah. I like it though. I like seeing some personality in him because it's normally such a generic, same old,
right. He's very. You're never going to get an inflammatory, statement from Crosby. He's always very even keeled and very,
not in an interview. He keeps that.
Then the next game was Saturday the 25th against St. Louis. But before the game, actually, was it Friday? Was it Saturday morning? I'm not sure exactly when, but they put Kasperi Kapanen on waivers.
Yeah. That was Friday he got put on, and then he was picked up Saturday.
Okay. Nobody expected him to be picked up because if you pick him up, you have to pick up his whole salary, which is he is grossly overpaid for this year and next year. And no team would be stupid enough to pay that because no team should have been stupid enough to pay him that in the first place. Hextall. But
I think Kapanen, there's still hope for Kapanen. He's still young enough to, I think I'm not like he could be a good player, man. I'm not saying in Pittsburgh. I'm glad he's gone. But there's some magic in him there. Just something's holding it back.
He needed to get out of Pittsburgh.
Just wasn't working for him.
It was not working. There was just some players.
Like Taylor Hall of Pittsburgh, Edmonton. Like he was a fantastic player, and he just wasn't. But in Boston, he really started to show his way. I don't know
Yeah.
how he's doing that. Where is he there still? I don't even know.
I'm not sure, but I
I think
remember.
so.
I mean, wasn't he like an MVP candidate that one year or something like that? It was just like, yeah, he got really good. So yeah,
Yeah, he blew up. I think it's possible in all players too, but it was funny that St.
well,
Louis picked him
yeah.
up and then we played them.
I've heard Kapanen described as cocky, arrogant, entitled, uh, party boy, all these things. It just wasn't going to work in Pittsburgh. And from what I understand, that was Sullivan's personal project. Now, now when he got traded back to Pittsburgh, it kind of worked. I think he had like 30 points in 40 games or something like that. And then he had a bad year. And you say, okay, fine. The potential's still there. Let's bring him back. But for some reason, they brought him back at this astronomical price. But that was Sullivan's project that said, I am going to fix him. I'm going to make him good. And it was a complete disaster. So, most
Not our
likely,
problem anymore.
yeah. Well, but most likely what was going to happen was nobody would have claimed him, and he was going to, I'm guessing, go down to the minors.
Yeah.
I guess, and I don't know how that affects the salary cap. The whole reason they wanted to, they needed to clear the space was because defenseman Jan Ruda was ready to be called up, but you couldn't call him up.
How long has he been out?
A while. It's been like, is he still on the team? You couldn't call him up because they were so up against the cap that you had to clear space. So they placed him on waivers. No, of course nobody's going to pick him up, but somebody did. St. Louis picked him up for some reason.
It's wild.
It's wild, but it's like you said, there's something there. He has the talent. He has the physical talent. When somebody's that fast, you take a chance.
That's the only thing that pissed me off, because he does have the wheels on our extremely slow moving team. Granted, we get to see some bursts from Letang and some bursts from certain players here and there, but as a whole, it's not good enough. So we'll see.
For a team that likes to say that they're fast, he would have been perfect if it worked out, but it didn't. So my hope was that he would have played in Saturday against the Penguins. That would have been funny. He probably would have scored like 5 goals or something like that. Just
that's just how it works.
Yeah. It's but I'm guessing he's playing this week or something like that. So anyway, they are in St. Louis Saturday, and they win 3-2. And in overtime, they looked a lot better. Basically, Malkin and Rust were amazing in this game, especially the one goal where
even
it was
Patterson was really good in that game too.
Dad strength, new dad. Apparently when you have kids, you become a much better hockey player or something like that.
That
I don't
makes
know.
me absolutely sick. Like, okay, so you're capable of doing this, but we only get to see that when something good happens in your life. I don't have time for that.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's
That's
so
a player
frustrating.
I would want on my team. I want that out of my player every night. So
You're right.
everyone's celebrating that, and I'm sitting there going, get rid of this guy.
Seriously. Yeah, where is this all the time? Yeah.
But he was good in that game.
Now, and this game, Jari was much better.
Give me a second. I don't actually have notes. I'm getting all excited right now. I don't know why. I'm excited.
The first goal the Blues scored, it was borderline high stick. It was really close. I guess the high stick roll is if your stick is.
He faced 27 shots, and like
not too many. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry to burst your bubble there, but I just want
I mean, he could have.
He didn't have that much pressure on him.
Yeah. Well, he didn't give up 7 goals this time, so it's an improvement. And then like, and the second goal was like It was basically like a wrestling match. It was just like all bodies in front, and the puck squirts loose. So can't really blame him on that one. And then in overtime, Rust scores. I mean, overtime's a
I hate how
crapshoot.
inconsistent Rust is too, because he can be so great, and then other nights it's just like I don't know, maybe Gino's rubbing off on him. That like kind of like here sometimes, here for a minute, gone for the rest. I don't
He's
know.
not having a great year.
No. And I still don't, well, he's not a bad player. I don't think I know this game was good, don't get me wrong, but I don't like the flow. I don't Zucker, Gino, and Rust is not a good line. And I know everyone else is like, oh, the top two lines are great. And no.
So
I don't think
what would you prefer then?
I still haven't worked out that because we had the injuries coming back, and with the trade deadline, I kind of wanted to wait to rework the lineup until after.
Okay.
So next week I will, or maybe like a week after, if we pick anyone up.
So would you want Raquel with Malkin and Zucker?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was consistently a good line. Sydney, I'm sorry, but he can find someone else to work with. He's one of the best in the world. I mean, you tore up that second line and it just hasn't had that same feel. Yeah, and then like Russ down to third, because he might, if Russ, like, I know people are like, oh, you're not a third liner. Why not? Why not have 4 good lines?
Exactly.
That's how we won the cup, was with 4 good lines. You can't expect to win anything being too like top heavy.
Rust on that third line would instantly make that third line better, which they desperately need. Yeah, that would be great. He only has 14 goals this season. That's not great.
I'm sorry.
59 games.
Yeah.
So two things happened after the Kapanen Kapanen being waived and being picked up by St. Louis. So now they could bring up Jan Ruda and
reactivate. He was injured, right?
Yeah. And they can and now we won't have Kapanen on the third line. It's the return of Danton Heinen. Come on down.
I was so happy. I'm like the only one that likes him. I don't even know why. He's not like the greatest hockey player, but he's pretty smart. So yeah, I was excited. I was a happy girl.
Yeah. So and Ruda, people were saying that Ruda is a luxury, but he's better than Ruedel. So two improvements to your lineup. Still a lot of problems, but 2 small improvements to your lineup.
But we still have the Pettersson Petrie line.
Still have the Pettersson Petrie line, which apparently is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
No.
Yeah. The pairings right now are Dumoulin and Letang, Pettersson and Petrie, and POJ and Ruda. So we will see.
Our defense is not good. Not at all. Letang's making errors. Dumoulin's been better, but he still makes errors. He almost killed Connor McDavid in Edmonton. I know that like people fall, it is slippery, it's ice, but I don't know. Joseph and Ruda too soon because it's only been a couple games. But the Petrie Pettersson line, they make too many errors together and they don't make enough points. That's a problem. Can I say a few things about this game?
Sure.
First of all, I've talked about this before. I noticed Sydney's confidence has faltered. He's got the puck at one point in the game and he's looking around a pass rather than moving it along himself and shooting, and he loses the puck. This is a confidence issue. If you don't feel comfortable moving the puck yourself and you're looking for someone to pass to, sometimes you just got to do it yourself. And I've seen that a lot of him this season where he was shooting more. Like that's one of them. He was shooting more in prior years than he is this year. Some games he goes without any shots on goal, or maybe 1 or 2 shots on goal. And like the confidence factor is with his breakaway shots or his shootout skills, like, and of course the faceoffs. Like, it's just something's missing there. Like, someone has to work with him to get him to the best top of his game again, because it's still in there. It's still in him. That I did say that we had a faster start, which is good. The scrums, man, like it's a little embarrassing now. We had, did it happen in last night's game too? Did they have a scrum?
I
There's
don't
another
think
game where they all,
so.
no, okay, it was last week. The scrums, the big scrums, like, it's pissy when I watch stuff like this. Like, someone drop the gloves and, throw some hands. It gets people excited. It injects energy into the team. But these scrums, exhausting. Sullivan started I don't know if he started the overtime, but I think he did, with Letang, Sydney on wing, and Carter taking the face off, to which he won, which was interesting.
Interesting.
Well, it's important to win the face off in any case, and Sydney tends to get worse on the dot through the game. So it was an interesting thing seeing that happen. But we barely beat this team. We outshot them 48-27. We beat them on the face-off just by a fraction. They out-hit us. But we had less giveaways, But to go take it all the way to overtime, this St. Louis is in like the bottom 6 of the league, I think. This was not good. Like, sure, we got the win, but it was painful. Lots of errors too. No turnovers, only 4. 4 turnovers. One being Jari, which is frustrating. But yeah, Petrie had 2, Jari and Gino both had 1. But we had 21 missed shots for a total of 25 errors. And Gensel and Zucker tied for the most errors with 3 missed shots each. And then we've got a 5-way tie with Petrie, Gino, Rust, Raquel, and Carter, all with 2 errors. However, Gino and Rust are waived because of their performance, the 2 of them combining for 5 points each. But Zucker had no points. Gensel had no points. Raquel had no points, and Carter had no points. So, like, I've been doing, like, if you have a total of so many errors, but you're not making points, that's a problem. So those boys were disappointing. But like I said, the lines aren't good. They're not there yet. There's still no chemistry. The second line with Raquel on it was exactly what we wanted to emulate for the other 3 lines, and they tore it up. Sullivan tore it up. It was like, So
there's a reason. Raquel is too good, or whatever. I mean, for
it's
whatever
stupid.
reason.
I'm so tired of this. Like, the object,
reason.
too many feelings here. Like, which is ironic. Anyways, yeah, no, this is about winning hockey games. It's sparing feelings. I don't know what's more important here. Your feelings or your desire to win. Decide. Thanks.
Yet another game where they had a lead in the 3rd period and lost it.
Yeah. And that's on Tanger. Falk's goal, that was on Tanger. Not defending well.
Yeah. It's happened over and over again. Like you said, the defense is pathetic. And it is, if they won, if all they did was win all of the games that they were leading in the 3rd period,
we'd be in first place.
They would be fighting the Rangers for that 3rd place in the division, not barely fighting for a playoff spot with 5 other teams.
We're gonna be fighting right till game 82.
It's gonna be. I hope not. I have a feeling. I sense a run. I sense
March of the
a run.
Penguins.
I sense a March of the Penguins. Yes, that is clever. You should that's I've never heard that before. You should trademark that or something.
Funny.
Yeah, no, we say that every single ever since that movie came out, everybody says March of the Penguins. Yeah, so then the next night, 6:00 Sunday game, which was weird, in Pittsburgh against Tampa. And this was another gift from Tampa because I'm guessing Tampa played.
They didn't show up.
Yeah,
they barely showed up. And this is a team that's only lost 21 games out of 57 or 59. I don't even know.
Well, not only did they not show up, but the person that did show up, their goalie, Elliott, is got to be one of the worst in the league. I don't know what his stats are, but wow.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, we did win, which is great, but Tampa was trash. They just weren't there. Oh, Dumoulin got the second star. Proud of him. The first period, like, they weren't shooting the puck either. I didn't write that down. I was out of it. I was so sick yesterday. We outbeat them everywhere, in every area. We were taking away the puck from them constantly. They just were not in the game.
Teddy Bluger was the third star. Teddy Bluger scored. Dumoulin scored. Even Jeff Carter scored.
Everybody scored.
Game.
That was a good 5 minutes. Definitely was. In the second period when we scored, what was it, 6 goals, 5 goals? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Anyways, this was a good win to boost them up. If they can build off this, good. But they didn't play a very good team that night, yesterday. Tampa was not good.
I don't know why, but they always play Tampa really well.
Yeah, we beat them back in, I think, October too.
I don't get it. I don't get, for some reason they play well against Tampa, and Tampa is not a bad team. Tampa 37-18-4. They're
fifth or sixth place. No, they're a good team. They just did not show up. So, and I said a couple times, I'm not getting excited over these wins because I see too many holes and I know the pattern of this team, but they played with heart. They showed character. Were they connected? I don't know. I was too distracted writing down all the goals as they were flying off. Yeah, it's just a win they needed to build off of because Tampa is a good team. Tampa is a very good team. They just weren't very good. And I don't want this to get in the Penguins' head. I want them to use this efficiently, this win, and build off of it, because you got to remember Edmonton's not as high ranked as Tampa, and they smoked us. That was a game. That was a wake-up call, definitely. So I'm not getting too excited yet. Let's see how it is next week, how they play. Who do we play? Anyways.
Huge wake-up call, that Edmonton game.
But we had the lowest amount of errors too last night.
Ooh, yeah. How were errors and missed shots?
We only had 17 errors, 7 missed shots, and 10 turnovers. First was Pettersson with 4 turnovers, but he had 2 assists. So I'll cancel out 2 of those errors.
I hope he doesn't drop his baby like he drops, like he gives away pucks. I hope he doesn't have errors with his kid.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That's not funny. Why did I laugh? And then sadly in second place was Heinen. He just came back. Expecting him to have chemistry it's gonna take him a few games.
It's your fault. That was your fault. You wanted him back, and now he has.
I know. When I was doing up my notes, I'm like, damn it, Denton. But no, it's okay. He did get an assist that day, and then Petrie had 2 missed shots, but he had 2 assists. And everyone else just on the list had one error, but like so many points. You got O'Connor and Zucker with goals, Gino, Sydney with a goal and assist, Gino with a goal and assist, Bluger with a goal. Like it was unreal. But let me talk about Brian Dumoulin for a sec. He had no errors and a goal and an assist, and his game was really clean. I still see people complaining on the internet about him, trade him, trade him, trade him. I think that's a mistake because what Dumoulin is showing is that he can come back, that there's still fight in him, like he can come back. And I have been extremely impressed with Dumoulin over the last couple of weeks. Sure, you're going to make errors, but he doesn't make even nearly as much as his pair, Letang. You know, so finally he got his goal of the season, and I hope he feels good. I really do.
There was a time when, of course, I'm on Twitter a lot. Twitter wanted
I
to.
wouldn't know you without Twitter.
I know. That's right. That's right. Penguins Twitter basically blamed everything on Dumoulin.
That's why
Every
I don't listen to them
thing.
anymore.
They focus so much and they said he's responsible for everything. That train derailment in Ohio, it was Dumoulin's fault. Climate change, Dumoulin's fault. Everything
Because they don't understand the game. You got to understand that okay, errors are going to happen, and he was pretty bad for a while, but he's actually coming back. You know, Matt Murray came back, Flower came back. You can revive players. You just have to work with them. Sydney came back. It's just you gotta work with them.
I mean, yeah, we're not saying he was great, but
No.
you know, it's just people jump on a certain thing and then they just harp on it. Then the subject moved to Carter. Carter is responsible for all the bad things in the world.
Carter actually has been really bad lately, and he's not even doing that well on the face-off. And it's like, bro, that's really the only thing you're good for.
It's a problem.
I'm a little worried there. You know what? Petrie, Archibald, McGinn, Ruda, and Bluger. I don't like any of them. I wrote about Ruda, but I know he just got back. I looked at old notes. He made lots of errors too. I don't like them. I don't think they're good for the team, especially McGinn. Carter either, but I know that's Hextall's little buddy. I almost said something else.
I know you almost. Oh boy. One
thing about
I knew exactly what you were gonna say too. We're
in sync. One thing I did want to say is that we need to learn how to play better in third periods. We need to learn to keep that momentum because Braden Point scored the last goal of the game on a power play to make it 7-3. Sure, it doesn't matter, but I don't care. You've got 60 minutes to play. Play the full 60. Don't give up because you've got a lead, because you can lose that lead, as you know, very fast.
Remember the Red Wings game? They were up 4-0. They lost.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let up.
Don't let up.
Stop. Yeah. Stop giving up goals in the third period. Play tighter defensively.
We're in trouble.
We are in trouble. We're in trouble. We've been in trouble. We will be in trouble. Yeah.
I'm just going to quickly go over the total for the 3 games. We had 29 turnovers and 41 assists. That's giving us to a total of 1,299 errors in 59 games, 738 being missed shots and 561 being turnovers. Gensel, 7 missed shots. Zucker 5, Petrie 5, Zucker 4. Like, clean that up. Tighten up your game. I don't know. Gensel needs to be saved too. He's kind of he's not the player that I'm used to watching. Mm-hmm. And then you've got Gino and Pettersson with 4 turnovers. And then Petrie and Heinen with 3. Turnovers are pretty much on par. They're averaging about 9 a game. But the missed shots, like, how many pucks do you? Hundreds. You know what? We all got to get these players that are suffering dryers, and we'll install them into their houses so they can just do what Sydney did and take shots on the dryer over. Come on, it's an idea. That
Yeah.
or I'm sending a shooter tutor.
Shooter.
That would be so funny. I'd need someone to see someone reaction of it because it would be gold.
Well, you had
I'm evil.
what, an extra net that you gave to a neighbor or something like that?
A net?
What did you give to some kids?
Okay, so I had a full-size net that I used for my training, but when the COVID kind of destroyed my business. Anyways, I had this net and I'm like, I have no use for it. And I wanted to find kids playing in the neighborhood, right? And offer it to them. And it was almost a year before I found 2 kids kicking a soccer ball around. And they're only about like, I don't know, 10 or 11. And I'm like, these kids could use it. So I went over and asked them, you guys want a net? And they're like, yeah. So I brought it over a couple days later and built it with his dad. And I'm gonna actually take them over some road hockey equipment too.
Oh, wow. That is so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Getting some uses, getting good use of it. So that is very cool. Yeah. Yeah. A washer and dryer in a basement, something. Maybe that's it. They should build a basement in their practice facility.
It doesn't have to be a basement, but it does need to be a dryer.
A dryer, yeah. Shoot in the dryer. Yeah. Maybe since they love those tablets so much, maybe you ever see those VR things? Maybe they should like put the VR goggles on and pretend to shoot or something like that. Since we're all about technology late.
Oh man, I would launch those tablets right into the garbage. I hate them. Anytime I see a player on the bench looking at it, and it's mostly Sydney, I'm like, what are you doing? No wonder your confidence is going. Like you're too worried about the past.
Pay attention. Pay attention. That's what you have coaches for. The coaches can go look at the tablets and tell you what's going on. Pay attention to what's going on.
Oh, we play Tampa again. I'm just looking at their schedule.
Do we?
Yeah, Thursday.
Whoa. Oh, that's right. In Tampa. Yeah.
Yeah, Tampa will have us that game, I think.
It will. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Vasilevsky will play, and he will put an end to all of that.
The coach is like, you know what? We'll play our weak goalie. The Pens aren't doing too good. The Pens are like, yeah? How about that?
Yep. So when is that? Thursday?
Yeah, when we play tomorrow, we play in Nashville. At
Nashville, Tuesday. Thursday, basically, oh man, this is like a hockey lover's dream almost. They're basically playing every other day, until the rest of the season or something like that. Basically.
Yeah, a couple back-to-backs.
We've got
2 this month.
Yeah. So no letting up. No now Nashville is basically, they must not be doing well because they're trading everybody.
Nashville?
Okay. They're
better. I think
they just traded that Jeannot to Tampa for like every draft pick ever Tampa's ever gonna have or something like that. What was that?
I don't know.
We want your first round, second round, third round, fourth round, and fifth round pick. It's like, what could we? What?
That Rutherford was on the other end of that, right?
Seriously, that sounds like a Rutherford trade. Every other GM is like, you did what?
Rutherford doing Rutherford things.
Yeah. So yeah, the trade deadline is on Friday, and
did you see that? Did you see that post I made with the guy in the suitcase throwing?
What's that?
About me saying this is how I take care of Hextall.
Oh yeah. Hextall is not.
He actually got an attitude too. Did you hear that? We need a player. I'm not giving up picks. Blah 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 blah. The decision has been made. The audacity. I was just like, what?
You play fantasy hockey, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep league.
Okay. I don't know if you do a lot of trades in those leagues, or if anybody.
I traded Ovechkin for Sydney this year.
You got Crosby? What idiot trades away Crosby?
Well, I had Ovechkin.
Well, I mean, okay, you had Ovechkin.
I had the Ovechkin for the first couple years, but because Ovechkin's chasing Gretzky's record, and I'm like,
right.
oh, easy cake money, right? But the years that I have had Sydney on like other leagues that I did one year, I ended up placing better or winning. So
Okay, there you go.
I was like, screw Ovechkin.
Hextall is that fantasy owner that if you try to do a trade with him, you want to pull all your hair out and his hair out too. He looks like he's like, well, I don't want to give up anybody, but I want to get everybody back. He just sounds like the most unreasonable.
What's our cap space too? Like, and what players do we have? Like, the only thing we really can give is a pick. Nobody's gonna want.
The only thing I could give is a pick, because who's gonna want
our mess?
Yeah. But the cap is a lot better now that they completely got rid of Kapanen's salary. I believe.
Can they waive McKinn next?
Well, that's the thing. It's like, who else can they? I mean, they could, possibly get rid of McKinn. They could get rid of Bluger. Heinen, although Heinen's not making much. But it's so, here's the quote from Hextall. This is just so frustrating. Well, first of all, he did respond to when people said fire him. He said, I understand the fans' frustrations. We have high expectations as well, and we haven't met them. I totally get it. When you're a GM, you know what you're signing up for. We work in the public eye, and the fans pay money to come to the rink. They certainly have the right to chant and say whatever they choose. It's not going to affect anything I do or don't do. Criticism is part of the business. You have to deal with it. Okay, whatever. We've actually not the first time we've said horrible things.
Hextall's gone in the summer. We won't see him next year.
Oh, he'll be like the minute the season is over. They'll already have like the box full of his stuff. It's like, here, just go, dude.
We already know. They already know who his replacement's going to be. We just don't yet.
Yeah. Well, if they have a plan, that's great. Where is that? Okay. They are not looking to spend big assets on rentals. So if we're going to spend a big asset, it's going to help us this year and years to come. That decision has been made. So we'll only trade for players that have long-term deals. Great. Ideally, what would you like to see them trade for?
Patrick Kane.
Yes.
Then we can move Russ down to the third line, and he wouldn't feel so bad.
He is, I guess Kane is going to the Rangers, which is a huge get for them.
Oh, the Rangers have already upgraded this season already. So, like,
they already got Tarasenko, and then they're getting Kane. That's scary. That's frightening.
And it's a team we might face if we make the playoffs. So.
If we make the playoffs,
I'm still saying we don't. But I mean, Buffalo and Detroit, we're fighting with Buffalo.
I'm saying we do. I'm saying we're going on a run. At some point, we're going on a run. Let's think about it this way.
From sixth place, we've got Washington, 4 spots out with 64 points, and we're in the second spot with 67. It's anybody's 2 spots. Like, and we play a lot of Metro teams in the next 2 months. Can we, for a second, talk about how Boston Bruins only have 13 losses?
Oh, they're disgusting.
I can't even, that just excites me so much. It's so impressive. Carolina only has 20 or 19 losses. But Boston, are you kidding me?
And and 5 of those losses are in overtime. It's disgusting. They are insanely good this year.
You know what though? Carolina, they're fun to watch. It's gonna be in the East. The Cup's coming to the East unless
you think?
Yeah.
I mean the
it's
Stars.
not going to Pittsburgh, but
Yeah, I gotta agree. I mean, the Stars and Vegas,
Vegas and
Vegas,
LA,
LA,
Edmonton.
and yeah,
They're not as
those are the
good. It's
top
like a total
teams.
different league.
It's
You
not
know,
like what was it last year that Colorado was just like, insanely good and dominated. Yeah, I mean, it's the Bruins
I
cup
mean,
to. But you know who else making moves is Toronto.
Sam Lafferty today.
They got Lafferty, yay!
Yeah, so he's
Hey,
there with Czar. That's good.
I think Toronto's going to go on a run
I had Toronto as my pick this year. So
to
I
go to
mean,
to win the cup or to go to the cup final.
to go to the final. Now,
Yeah.
granted, they don't. Someone else takes Boston out because if they play Boston, they're toast. They're not going to beat Boston. It's just one of those things, like it's just they don't work.
Yeah, but
And
you just hope
Toronto's
someone
Toronto,
else.
and I mean, I still think that Toronto has one of the best, if not the best, goalie tandem in the league. Love you, Murray. But yeah, it's definitely okay. So I heard someone compare the Western Conference like an AHL league. It's fitting. I mean, I know a few of those teams like smashed us, the Kings and the Oilers as a REIT, but we're also kind of AHL level.
So who knows what Hextall is going to do, if he's going to do anything. But right now they have about 2 million in space, so they could do something. And they could, I mean, McGinn's making 2.7 million, which
yeah,
is
Hextall's just gonna call up one of his buddies and be like, "Can you just
I heard Luke Shen. Sure, why not? What's I was gonna say any other good flyers, but there are no. Let's get Giroux. He's what, 100 years old. Let's get him.
No, he's in Ottawa.
Yeah, let's get Giroux. Yager.
No, we're I don't know. Okay, first of all, I don't know what players are available, like are being shopped, but it's too much for me. It's very stressful.
It's so we'll see. I think he'll do something. And I
He
think
has to. His job's on the line.
Yeah.
He has to
Yeah.
do something. But I don't think it's gonna be good because I have absolutely no trust in Hextall at all. Like, I mean, the only good thing he did was bring Raquel. There's the only thing that worked out. But I mean, like, not protecting Tanev and protecting Carter or
yeah, it was ridiculous.
Like, my head is still
he's done a horrible job, but if he can get a third line center, drop Carter down to the fourth line.
No, I don't think
possibly get rid of McGinn. Or Bluger. Although Bluger might be, hopefully Bluger got his head out of his butt. There's just anything different. Anything different. I don't care. That's what this team needs. Just something different. Look, what 2 little changes. Bring in Heinen and bring in Baparuda, and they're on a 2-game win streak.
I don't think that has anything to do with the players. I think that has to do with being booed at home. I think that's stuck in their head, and I know you think they're going to go on a run, but I don't. I don't think they have the mental acuity right now. Yeah, I don't see it.
I do. We'll see.
You think they're going to win the Stanley Cup?
No, I think they're going to be in a. Are you God, no. Hey, you never know. You never know. If Jari gets hot, and they get something out of the third and fourth lines.
I don't even think Jari's a starting goaltender. So.
No, he has a potential.
He's broken right now. He can't be. He is broken.
But he can be fixed. Dumoulin was broken and he got fixed.
It took years. Dumoulin's different, but it takes years to fix goalies. Then it doesn't have to bounce back. I'm just okay. You know what? I'm not a pessimist. I'm definitely more optimistic, but I'm a realist in this case because this is a business and the business is to win. So I find holes in the game, what's not working, and those are the things I want to fix, right? So when I speak, it's the coach in me that's speaking more than it is the fan. You get me?
Mm-hmm. This is my prediction. They are going to make the playoffs, and they're going to be in the first wild card spot, which means they'll play the Hurricanes.
They're not making the playoffs.
You don't think they're gonna make playoffs? There you go.
We gotta do devil's advocate. But
There
no,
you
I
go.
said it in the summer, so I'm just gonna
We'll
honor what I
see.
said.
We'll see. We got to. Well, we'll pull the receipts. If you're right, then I'm not pulling any receipts. But I'm right. If I'm right, I'm broadcasting it everywhere.
Oh man. No, I already said they wouldn't. So I can't change my answer now. You know?
All right.
Look, first, just 1 second before we go. Look at the schedule. Look at the teams we're playing. Just go look at them.
Uh-huh.
For the next month. We play the Rangers. Wait, where are we? March. We play the Islanders. Rangers twice, 3 times. We play the Islanders 3 times in the second week of March. Rangers.
Bring it. Bring it.
Then Boston. Well, we play Philly. And
they play Ottawa. They play the Capitals, which I don't know what.
But Ottawa and Philly, they're still fighting to get up there too. They're not playing too bad.
I'm telling you, they're going on a run in March. It is March of the Penguins. They will unleash hell in March. I'm calling it right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 15 games in March. I say they win 9 of them.
I'm gonna go 8-7.
Okay, that's not much different.
8 wins, 7 losses. I don't know why that number came up, but
yeah, we'll see.
That number kind of haunts me. Yeah. I'm not sure. I can't say that I think they're going to make the playoffs or not. I've been watching the other teams like Buffalo and Detroit, man. They want it.
Oh, on paper, I'm crazy but I'm just thinking because when you're really bad for a while, that means it's going to be accompanied by a losing streak will be accompanied by a win streak.
Good enough. If you think about it, right?
We've been talking all year. They're not good enough, but I think they're going to do it.
We'll see.
I've hope.
I hope they do. I hope they do. I don't want to sound like a hater. I really hope they do. I don't think it's going to happen.
We'll see. All right, I gotta go.
Yeah.
We'll see you.